Greetings and welcome once again to Creepy-Ghoul-Vision. I am Creepy-Ghoul, your host. Thank you for tuning in once again. Welcome, my friend, once again to Creepy-Ghoul-Vision. I am Creepy-Ghoul, your host. Thank you for tuning in once again.
In the future, you are interested in the unknown, the mysterious, the unexplainable.
Okay, guys,
That is why you are
back
here.
from the dead.
And now, for the first time,
I've got a crazy video for you today. Something a little bit unusual and different. I've got a couple of
we are giving you all the
genre-related books I'd like to showcase and talk about today. Some punk rock horror stuff. So you know what? Let's get right to
We
it.
cannot keep this a secret any longer.
Here it is right here. There it is right there. Let's get to it on Creepy-Ghoul-Vision. Thank you for tuning in.
The shocking facts about grave robbers from outer space.
Here is a new... Okay. Hang on. Take two. Yeah, I don't have all that fancy editing bullshit. Whatever. My videos are all like B-film, actually rather Z-film grade. Zero budget. Why? Because I spend all my shit on this. Anyhow, here is a Muppet News Flash. Rocker Glenn Danzig says cancel culture, quote unquote, cancel culture will prevent a new punk rock explosion. Now, in one of my previous videos I said I was going to talk about this topic just a little bit. Now, a couple of weeks ago, a friend of mine sent me this email with this article, and I was just like, what the hell is this? Really? Okay. You don't hear much from Danzig these days, especially with regards to quote-unquote punk rock, right? So basically what he's saying here in this article, and the funny thing about this article was it came from Fox News. Fox News via Rolling Stone via Fox News. What the hell is that? Like punk rockers will go to Rolling Stone for punk rock news or Fox News? I can't understand that. Like, I just don't get it. I'm sure Danzig had nothing to do with Fox News. It's just Fox News picked it up as something to talk about. Some bullshit to talk about. Anyhow, punk rock legend Glenn Danzig believes that the genre will never have a resurgence as long as cancel culture continues to dominate public discourse. I agree. Cancel culture. What a funny word. What a funny two words actually. That when you put them together, they sound kind of funny. Cancel culture. It sounds fucking dumb. But anyhow, if that's what you want to call it that. Okay? But I agree with the guy. I mean, in this day and age, we're in 2021. Okay? We're not in 1986 again. Right? Or even that, 1977, 78, 79.
It was when the grave diggers started their task that strange things began to take place.
Really? Wow. More news. No, but I mean, in this day and age, with everybody being so freaking PC, you know what I mean? There can never, ever be a punk rock movement like there was back in the day ever again. I mean, never say never. I mean, there could. It would be beyond underground, right? That's the thing. But I mean, You know, I don't know, this article just had me a little speechless. They're talking about Last Caress and whatnot. It's just a crazy song, he explained. We would do things just to piss people off. That, I get, that we knew. He added, it was just like, fuck your system. Fuck all the bullshit. It was something else. I don't think people will ever see anything like it again. There won't be any new bands coming out like that. Now, they will immediately get canceled. Fair enough. If you're looking to get on a major label, I mean, fair enough, yeah. What major label's going to scoop that shit up? But why would you want to get on a major label? You know what I mean? Like, who labeled Green Day punk rock? A bunch of fucking spoiled friggin' kids from the SoCal suburbs. If that's where they're from, Southern California, I don't know. Anyhow, it's bullshit. You know what I mean? Bands like that, even like bands like Rancid, Green Day, you want to talk about The Offspring, fine. I mean, sorry guys, they weren't even convincing. They were not as convincing as anything or anyone. And really, they weren't angry enough, they weren't convincing enough. For example, The Exploited. Now there was fucking anger. The Exploited was angry as fuck. So were the Dead Kennedys, so were Black Flag back in the day. They were actually fed up. Anyhow. But Danzig's right, man. I mean, he says, people don't understand because everything's so cancel culture. Woke. W-O-K-E. Woke. Another word I despise. In fact, I don't even really know what it means. But it sounds like crap. Woke bullshit nowadays. But you could never have the punk explosion nowadays because of cancel culture and woke bullshit. You could never have it, he explained. It would never have happened. We're lucky it happened when it did because it'll never happen again. You won't have any of those kinds of bands ever again. Everyone's so uptight and PC, it's just like, okay, whatever. But you know what though? He's right. He's right. This will never happen again. Punk rock happened when it happened, for the reason that it happened back in the 70s, continuing on to the 80s. I don't know about the 90s, man, but I mean, you know, there's still the very extremely odd punk rock band today with the old school values and mentality and whatnot. And, you know, that's just how it is. But Glenn was right, man. Glenn is right. Bottom line, seriously. Everybody's just so fucking PC nowadays, man. You're telling me you're not a racist, you're not a homophobic, you're not this, blah, 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 this, that. Well, here's one. I mean, if you're a human being from planet Earth, yeah, you are. But you're just fucking afraid to admit it, that's all. Even if it's not vocalized, it's in here. Or back here. Anyhow, enough of this shit. Let's get to this stuff right here. Oh, before we do that.
At the funeral of the old man, unknown to his mourners, his
Probably.
dead wife was watching.
So guys, I got a couple of books here
Tell me something. Why was his wife buried in the ground?
that I'd like to showcase.
Something to do with family tradition, a superstition of some sort.
Oh.
Well, it's getting dark. Let's be in LA.
A band from LA that really comes at you. Black Flag.
Who from there?
Don't panic.
Man and girl.
I'm here. Check it out.
Just left.
I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this.
You get there, Stephen?
But
Yeah, much as we
the
could.
first book I'd like to showcase is called Panic!
EMS like this ought to make anything frightened. Have one of the boys take
A
the
mini
gun back to town. You take shots.
hardcover.
Inspector, what are you going to do?
Now hang on, I gotta pick some of this stuff up. It's blown away with my fan.
Once you get beyond the range of the light, you won't be
there we
able to
go.
see your hand in front of your face.
So check this out. I discovered this book online a while ago. Black Flag, before they were called Black Flag, were called Panic. Very short-lived band. It was pretty much Black Flag, but just called Panic. This book here, I believe this is the first printing of it, because from what I understand, the first printing of the book came with these two items right here. It came with a poster, actually, sorry, a pin-up poster, whatever you want to call it, envelope. Look, it's an envelope. How original, that's awesome. This is like something I would get out of an original Alternative Tentacles release.
It looks like a bobcat tore into it. Yeah.
And it also came with an old glossy, this is not an 8x10, this is not a 4x6, somewhere in between, of Keith Morris goofing off right there. Pretty cool. It's an actual photograph, as you can see, printed from a negative, which is really good, which makes the book very extremely exclusive. Now check this out. If you're a fan, or better yet, a supporter of Black Flag, then you're probably going to want this book, man, I'm telling you. Few and far between, very hard to get. I will leave a link in the description box on where to get this book. It's coming straight from Texas, but be careful when you order it, because Texas is the reason that the president's dead. So, I'm not going to go too crazy with this book here, but I'll just show you a couple pages. This is pretty much Black Flag, before they were Black Flag, transitioning from Panic to Black Flag. We're talking Keith Morris, Dez, the whole gang is right here. It was a photo session they did, transitioning from Panic to Black Flag. A lot of great black and white shots here, man, I'm telling you. If you're a Black Flag fan, you need to get this book. It's really great. Just going to try to show you a little bit more here, without giving too much of it away. It's quite exclusive and very extremely limited beyond belief. I don't even know if this is still available, but here we go. And mine came with the envelope and my picture of Keith Morris fell out there, so I'll put that right back in. There we go. Panic. It's this place out of Texas called Rye Bread Rodeo, and I'll put the link in the description box. He's a really great guy. The site is all about punk rock, original punk rock stuff. You can get like books, magazines, zines, flyers, original flyers, records, and stuff like that. Support him. He's a really great guy. His name doesn't come to mind right now, but check it out. Rye Bread Rodeo. He may still have some of these books available. And I got another couple of books I'm going to be showcasing for you guys from Rye Bread Rodeo as well. Very exclusive, Misfits stuff coming at you real soon. Give me just 1 second. But yeah, grab yourself that Panic book if it's still available. Alright, so let's put that aside. Let me grab some more vino here. And we'll see you in a bit. Welcome back to Creepy-Ghoul-Vision. The next book I would like to showcase is the new Vampira book called Glamour Ghoul, The Passions and Pain of the Real Vampira. Mela Nurmi, rest in peace. Written by Sandra Nemi, her niece, her flesh and blood, her niece. I haven't had a chance to read this book yet because I'm actually right now in the middle of a book about VHS collecting, which you probably saw in one of my previous videos. But anyhow, this will be my next read, pretty much. I'm very, very extremely excited to get into this book right here and find out about Mela there through the eyes and experiences of her niece. As you can see, there's like a few pictures in there, but it's mostly text. Have a look at it. I scored this gem off Amazon for a decent price. It was somewhat hard to get. I'm not sure if it's still available. But yeah, there we go right there, Glamour Ghoul. One of my favorite films of all time is Plan 9 from Outer Space, which you're hearing the audio of in the background, in case you're wondering. I believe I did probably get into Vampira through the Misfits back in the day. I think, I don't know, but yeah, I do have a strong appreciation for Mela. I've seen a lot of the documentaries put out on her. There hasn't been quite a lot, but I mean, I have seen the ones that are out there. And some of it's fabricated, and some of it's just like, I don't know. But I'm hoping to get some real insight. I've read some really amazing reviews on this book here. So I'm excited to get into it after I finish my VHS book there. Yeah, here we go. I'll give you a little bit of the inside. There's some old photos of her. Some of the photos I've never even seen, really. But kudos to her niece here for really putting out this book, and this is probably the closest bit of non-fabricated information and reality story that you'll get on Vampira, Mela Nurmi herself. So I am looking forward to it. So check it out right there. Glamour Ghoul. The passions and pain of the real Vampira. And speaking of Vampira, I'd like to, I don't believe I've ever showed anybody. Showed this on video, I don't know how well you're going to see it, but way back when I designed this tattoo. It's my one and only tattoo. It's a tattoo I probably talked about for like 20 years. I brought them some album covers and some photos and whatnot, and we pieced this together. Well, you're going to see this, geez. But there's Vampira right there from a scene from Plan 9 when she's coming out, right there. And we've got the Beware off the album right there, and the 70s lettering of the Misfits, with, of course, the Crimson Ghost from the Evil Live cover. And in the coffin, instead of Glenn, there's Vampira. And I did, way back when, get that autographed by Jerry Only, and a couple days later I ended up getting it tattooed. Luckily I did get a picture of it because it was faded a little bit by the time I did get it tattooed. But, you know, it is what it is. It was a part of the time. So yeah, there we go. Vampira. Vampira, rest in peace, Mela. One person I would really like to get back in contact with, not that I was really in contact with her or anything like that, but it was now an ex-girlfriend of an old band member of mine. I can't remember her name, but she was, I guess, president or head of the Vampira, official Vampira fan club on, I guess, Facebook. I'm not on Facebook. I don't do social media. I've got my YouTube channel, Creepy-Ghoul-Vision, and I got a blog, which I don't really do much of anything with. That's about it. And you know, I do emails. And that's it for me. Social media. I don't have Twitter. I don't have Facebook, Instagram, whatever the hell. Not into that crap. Really, never have, never will. Anyhow, moving right along. I got a couple more books I'd like to showcase. These are Misfits books that you've never seen or heard of until now. Maybe. Don't know if they're still available, but I would like to show you guys these Misfits books here, right here. But first, a word from our sponsors. Scored this one at Hell's Headbangers. It's a really nice quality Walk Among Us patch, which I don't believe I ever had.
Why? We'll be right back after this commercial with more of the Misfits.
With your pillow beside me.
Welcome back. Okay, so
I have to have something to
I
keep
got
me
into
from
the Misfits back in around '86.
Your children touch it. Then it doesn't
Neck
seem
is
so
killing me.
lonely anymore.
Through Thrasher magazine back in the day. Anyhow, I've seen the Misfits play in Toronto here about 23 times, which is just about every single time they've been here. I even saw them play twice in one weekend, so I mean, anyhow. I just have a strong connection with the band. They were the band that changed my life back in the day. And yeah, I just never really looked back. I mean, it was just one of those things. So I discovered a while back, through when I discovered Rye Bread Rodeo, which I'm going to put the link in the description box because, you know, it is a punk rock, true punk rock label, website label, whatever you want to call it, and I can't remember his name for the life of me. I want to say Ryan, but I can't remember. He's a real nice guy. Support his store there. It's all punk rock, really great stuff. Flyers, zines, books, exclusive books beyond belief, and whatnot. Have a look at it, man. Anyhow, check this out.
You're mighty silent this trip, Jeff.
I got this a little while ago. The Misfits, 36 Shots from Maxis, Kansas, by Lisa Lombardi. Not sure if that name rings a bell or not, or sounds familiar. It kind of sort of did to me. I don't know. Apparently, her boyfriend was in the Misfits back in the day, in the 70s. Who was her boyfriend? Maybe it was Jerry, maybe it was Glenn, I doubt. Maybe it was Franchi Coma, maybe it was Mr. Jim. Who knows? But anyhow, check this out. I'm not going to give too much of this book away because it is a very extremely small book, quite exclusive. Only several hundred of these ones were made. There we go. There's the back of it right there. Now, the cover, man, this is like nothing I've actually ever felt before. It feels like, I don't know, it feels like parchment paper, but it just feels really good. Like it feels like really good quality. There's Glenn. This is transitioning into the horror imagery era of the Misfits. So I'm just going to show you a little bit of the book right here. There it is right there. There's the inside right there. Okay, and I don't know how well you're going to see that. It says, photographs by Lisa Lombardi Bello. So she's married. Anyways, let's get to it. I'll show you a little bit if I can. This was I don't want to increase the book too much. But anyhow, this was apparently an entire roll of film that she took that night the Misfits played Maxis, Kansas. Okay? And this is the beginning right here, man. I'm telling you, this is transitioning into the horror imagery era. And I know I'm doing a lousy job of showing you inside of this book here, but there we go. You get the idea. Okay, this is, honestly, man, if you're an original Misfits fan, supporter, from 77 to 83, you're going to want this book for your collection. Believe me. Definitely. I was actually thinking about ordering a secondary copy just for collection purposes. Most definitely. Such a really cool little book. Check it out. Rye Bread Rodeo. I'm going to put the link in the description box. Okay, so moving right along. I got one more book that I want to showcase for you guys.
Okay, Matt.
Again, Misfits related. So, I just found out recently that back in the day, back in like the 70s, there was a punk rock, a short-lived punk rock club called, what was it called? Shock Theater. Okay? There's not much information on it I found online at all. I found an article, a small article, and a show flyer. That's about it, really. I would imagine this was short-lived back in the 70s. It was probably just an independent theater, and then the punks started doing shows there type of thing on a certain night, and it lasted a few months type of thing, I'm guessing. I don't know. But it's really funny, because years ago, when I saw the Misfits play in Toronto, Jerry Only mentioned casually in passing that they ventured into Toronto back in the 70s and stuff like that. And that was it. He didn't say anything else. That was it. So it was really nothing to talk about, right? But apparently they were here back in the 70s. So in Little Italy, there was a small theater club, a punk rock club called Shock Theater. The studio theater at the southwest corner of College and Manning, I know exactly where that is, walked by it a million times, was later known as the Shock Theater a punk club. There we go. How many of you old schoolers know about this or remember this? Geez, I'd like to talk to you about this. Geez, here is an old flyer from the Shock Theater. How well you're going to see that. There we go. And I printed this. Every Friday night, New Waves, Friday, October 28th at 9 o'clock, The Curse, The Dents, and a mystery band, $3 at the door, 565 College Street, and a phone number. Awesome. And the Misfits, because it was, I guess, it must have been like a horror theater or something like that, they naturally ventured down and played a gig there. So, funny enough, just when you think you've seen everything by the Misfits out there, the original Misfits, online or whatever, something like this surfaces. The Misfits, Shock Theater, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, photographs by Paul Till, whoever that is. There's Glenn. Now, there's the back of the book. This is before the horror, any horror imagery. This is before the horror imagery. This is the traditional punk rock days. This is before Static Age was even recorded, I would imagine. And again, the quality of this book, the feel of this book is just like, wow, I've never felt anything like that, actually. I'm not going to give too much of this away, okay, because seriously, if you are a Misfits fan, an original Misfits fan, 77 to 83, then you need these books in your collection. Seriously, for collection purposes. Check it out. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to flip through. Apparently, this dude was at the club that night the Misfits played, and I'm sure he was at the club when other punk rock bands play. I'm sure there's a lot of photos that exist for that club that he's got, because I would imagine something short-lived. Not a lot of people took pictures or even video back then. We're talking like 77-ish, I'm guessing. There it is right there.
Yeah, you're wrong, Lieutenant.
1977.
Sound is similar, but what about the blinding light? Oh, haven't you heard?
So this was at the very extreme beginning of the Misfits career here.
Well, next, Lieutenant.
I'm just going to show you, flip through a bit of it, and I'm assuming this was an entire roll of black and white film that he took of the Misfits on stage, thinking that they were probably just a regular punk rock band from out of town, New York City, New Jersey. Let's just take some pictures at the club that night. There you go. As a result, how many years later? My mouth is horrible. 77. It's 2021. These photos surface. Who knew? Kind of makes you wonder, what else is out there other than UFOs and aliens? And I do believe. Alright guys, so that was my book showcase for this evening. Thanks so much for tuning in, and hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like, share, and subscribe it. Some like-minded individuals. Give me a couple thumbs up, will ya? Hit that notification bell to get all the new shit. So I got some more shit coming up for you. But most importantly, stay weird. Thank you once again for tuning in to Creepy-Ghoul-Vision. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Give us a couple thumbs up, will ya? And we'll see you on the next video. Stay weird.